This is my digital story project. My name is Addison Viets, and I wrote it as kind of a child's storybook format. I hope you like it. Mr. Medley's music class was one of a kind. Instruments were played, music theory was taught, and children even became composers in Mr. Medley's class. It would be nice to say that everyone loved Mr. Medley's class, but unfortunately this was not the case. There was one student named Johnny who hated music class. "I hate this class," he would say. "Music is stupid. Why should I learn about this? It's not going to be on a test or anything." Most teachers might be discouraged by such an outspoken student, but not Mr. Medley. "You think music is stupid?" he asked Johnny. "Of course I do. It's a waste of time and it's boring." Mr. Medley didn't frown or get upset. "So you say," was his reply. Mr. Medley turned to the class. "Can anyone tell me why music is so important?" he asked. Hands shot up all around Johnny, his classmates eager to answer. "It's powerful," said one student. "Magical," shouted another. Johnny scoffed. "Powerful and magical? Yeah, right, music is just boring." "Instead of talking about what music is, let's experience it instead," said Mr. Medley, swooping over to hit the lights and start up the CD player. "Music can do all kinds of things. Music can change how you are feeling. It can make you anxious, excited, happy, sad, even afraid," he said, hitting play. "Music can even represent things. Let's listen to a few techniques and find out what they can do to you." He hit play. "This is a trill," he said as the sound filled the room. Suddenly they weren't in Mr. Medley's classroom anymore. They were standing in a forest during the early morning, and birds were flitting around and chirping and singing. "You see, a trill is the rapid alternation of two notes. It can create the illusion of birds, among other things." Mr. Medley changed the track, and they were no longer in the forest, but now on an ancient battlefield. The music had picked up in speed and suddenly felt more urgent. Tempo can change the feeling just as much as a trill can. The tempo is the pace at which a piece of music is performed, he explained. "Is this tempo fast or slow?" he asked. "It's fast," shouted the class as they looked around and saw soldiers running towards them. "Hurry, change it!" Now back in the classroom, the students took a breath of relief. "That was scary," said Johnny. Mr. Medley only smiled. "Other aspects of music can change how you feel as well. Things like dynamics can make all the difference. Dynamics are the degree of loudness or softness of a voice or instrument." He hit play once more, and they were now in a deserted street. "It's quiet now, but when the dynamics change," he said as the music became louder and louder. The quiet, dark street began to light up as people appeared, bustling about and growing more active with the increase in volume. "You need more than just dynamic trills and tempo to make fantastic music," said Mr. Medley. "How about some harmony?" And he changed the track again. Now they were in a ballroom, watching people in funny old clothes dancing around and around. "Harmony is the sounding of two or more tones at the same time," he explained. Johnny stared around in amazement. "It makes it sound more full, more alive," he said, glancing around at his classmates. Mr. Medley smiled. "Yes, it does," he agreed. "Finally, there's articulation," he said, turning off the track and sitting at the piano. "Articulation is the way the tones are begun and ended," he said as he began to play. At first, his notes began smoothly and were connected, giving a calming sensation. Then they began to be more pointed and deliberate, the tempo picking up along with it and giving a more exciting and urgent feel. Okay, Johnny finally conceded. "So music isn't stupid and boring. It's actually pretty cool." Mr. Medley grinned. "Why is that?" he asked. Johnny thought for a moment. "I suppose it is kind of magical. I mean, just by using all those different techniques, you can go all sorts of places. Tempo, dynamics, harmony, trills, and articulation can be used to create a sort of mental painting." Mr. Medley nodded. "You're right. So, Johnny, where should we go next?" Johnny looked around and reached for a violin. "How about Carnegie Hall?" The class cheered and each student found their own instrument and began their journey through music.